for taking Thank you for taking the time to join us for this very important educational session about Stroke Smart. Our governor declared Maryland a stroke smart state, really with the primary goal to encourage everyone to learn the signs of a stroke and what to do to save lives. But before we discuss this, we'd just like to tell you a little bit about who we are. We are from Scale Aphasia program. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for people with aphasia and their families. And we really do this by providing a place where people with aphasia can connect with each other. Provide offer group classes to continue to work on communication and language skills. Empower people to get back into the community. And with the families, we want to educate and train them. And the importance of raising awareness and the understanding of aphasia to the public. So what is aphasia? It's a language disorder caused by a stroke or brain injury. It can affect speech, the difficulty of understanding, writing, or reading. However, it's so important to understand that it does not affect intellect. Imagine you know exactly what you want to say, but the words don't come out right. It can be so frustrating. So the members of our Speak Out Aphasia team, we focus on aphasia awareness, and we are the presenters today. Now, you may hear some speech errors in our presentation, but please know that is our aphasia. Now, the materials used here in this presentation, we have permission to use. But more importantly, we have made them aphasia friendly. So here are our Stroke Smart champion presenters today. Marvin, his stroke was about 2 years ago. His commitment to improvement is inspiring. And Marvin is an economist and is back at work. Janet, she had her stroke in March of 2020. Janet always wants to learn everything she can about aphasia. She has her doctorate in nursing. And Jane had her stroke in 2017. And she was a director of marketing at a credit union. Jane is very motivated and is in 3 different book clubs. And Brian has his stroke in 2014. He had his own insurance company before his stroke. He continues to be involved in his fraternity and as a Mason. Now I'm going to pass on to Marvin.
Thank you, Judy. Some basic statistics about stroke. 1 in 6 people will have a stroke. The odds get higher as we age, but anyone can have a stroke at any time. Next. for US statistics, someone suffers a stroke every 40 seconds. Someone dies every 4 minutes from a stroke. Next. 2 million brain cells die every minute in a stroke. Next. Time is indeed brain. We have, fortunately, the medicine to reduce death and disability that come with strokes. Next. The good news is that getting to the ER as soon as possible is great. Within 3 hours can save a life. You can avoid tragedies that for yourselves and others by acting on a simple information presented here. Next. What is a stroke? Blood flows through your brain. A stroke stops the blood flow to your brain. Next. There are 2 kinds of strokes. One is called ischemic stroke. Ischemic stroke blocks the blood flow to your brain, usually via a clot. Next. Next stroke is called hemorrhagic stroke. This is caused by bleeding in your brain. Next. The goal for our presentation is that you may, 1, spot a stroke, 2, stop a stroke, and 3, save a life. You will leave here today with the knowledge and confidence to do these 3 things. Next, I pass on to Janet.
Unmute. Roughly 70% of stroke people will have a droopy face or one-sided weakness. These people are unable to smile with both sides of their face due to the stroke. When we get people in time for the treatment, the chances of quickly recovering are most likely. The second common sign for most people suffering from a stroke will have weakness. They are often unable to rise both arms to the same level. One side is suddenly weak without any reason. They may have even think that they're raising both arms equally. Not all people who have strokes will have both of these signs. Also, during a stroke, there could be weakness of the hands. At the same time, they will have the weakness. The person that might be having the stroke will have trouble speaking, or they will not be able to be understood. The person can also be very confused. They might have things mixed up, or what you're saying to them, they might not understand, or what you're saying to people, they will not be able to understand. Uh-oh. There also might be sudden signs where the person might have vision changes. Their vision could be blurry, or the person might feel dizzy. During my stroke, I started out, next page. During my stroke, I had slurred speech, and I was very, very unable to be understood by the family that I was speaking to. And I was also a little bit dizzy and had difficulty with being able to coordinate self. I refused with my daughter to go to the hospital. Instead, I demanded to go in her car. When I was on the way to the hospital in the car, I stopped breathing. My daughter had to pull over on the side of the road. She called 911 and had to perform CPR during it while waiting for the ambulance. It taught my family and myself, is that not what you're supposed to do? You should be calling 911. The second time that I had difficulty, I had slurred speech again. I had difficulty being understood, and I was dizzy. My husband immediately called 911. I was taken in the ambulance to the hospital. Before I left from my home, the first responders began treatment in my home. They were also online with the doctor from the hospital where I would be going, because they expected that I was having stroke symptoms again. The important thing is, when I got to the hospital, the doctors were waiting, and I was immediately taken into MRI. The very important thing of this, out of my whole stroke and out of my whole life, is that it's very important to call 911 and be sure that my family knows that, and that you hopefully will have the person who's having problems understand 911. Next, we're going to hear from Jane.
Hello, Janet, and hello, my good friends. So today I'm going to say stop a stroke. Take action. Call 911. Do not drive yourself to the ER. Calling 911 is the fastest way to get the stroke patient to get the life-saving treatment. Treatment is started in the ambulance. So my own story, I tried experiencing arm weakness. So I started to walk out of my house and went to drive myself to the hospital. I had my insurance card, my phone, my license, my credit card. When I tried to drive myself to the my finger slipped from the car door. A man noticed I wasn't okay, and he called 911. I didn't even know who he was, but I really think I should. Thank him. Do not call your doctor. Call 911. Do not lay down and think it would be passing. Call 911. Your life is so much more valuable than the cost of an ambulance. The ambulance personnel do not get mad at you for calling them. It's their job to respond. Save a life. Your action can save a life. Call 911. Save a life and reduce disability. If you need speech, PT, or we have services, it's all available for you. The goal: spot a stroke, stop a stroke, save a life. Call 911. You will hear today about the experience and knowledge and the confidence to spot a stroke, stop a stroke, and save a life. Now I've been passing it on to Brian.
To summarize stroke signs, you gotta first balance. Check for loss of balance and weakness. In dizziness. The eyes. Check for vision loss. The face. Look for uneven smile. The eye, the arm. Check for weakness or numbness. Speech. Listen for slurred speech. Time. Call 911 right away. Is free resources on the website. Call for action. We challenge you to tell 2 people what you learned today. Stop a stroke, spot a stroke, save a life. Thank you for your time and attention. Any questions?